Now I'm looking at your rough draft and final draft.
Okay.
And you're doing a lot of writing. We talked about all the daily writing they're doing. And you're probably providing some feedback on those practice assignments. And one thing about your essay that we'll post on the Prezi is that you've written descriptive feedback.
Yes.
So the kids know what they did right and why it's right.
Right.
And if they need to do something differently, why. You say textual evidence, make sure you, it says good textual evidence, make sure you use proper punctuation.
Yes.
So you gave them some positive feedback, but next steps.
Mm-hmm.
You say good thesis, you mentioned 3 reasons behind the surge in indifference.
Yes.
So you gave that, say it was good, but here's why it's good.
Yes.
That's very important to do. And then you also say, here's a participle phrase. This makes good sentence structure.
Mm-hmm.
If you're writing that type of feedback on both their rough drafts and 120 regular drafts,
Yeah.
that's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time.
So how do you not go crazy and save time so that doesn't take over your life?
Well, a great way, especially with the final drafts, to save time is that I have my students post their final drafts of any writing assignment that we do to Edmodo, which is a free site for educators and students. It's like a Facebook for students and teachers to interact. And so I will post the link, and the students can then post their assignment there. And the good thing about Edmodo is that it lets you annotate it right there on the site, and the students are able to see it once they log in. So what I like to do is really just focus in on the fact that and ask myself, what am I really assessing them for with this essay? Because with essays, and especially as an English teacher, you want to correct everything. If there's not a comma there, if something's misspelled, and those things should be, acknowledged. They're very important to acknowledge them. But if I'm really grading them on sentence structure and sentence variety, then that's my focal point in grading. So it kind of shaves off some of the time that I would spend in editing the full essay.
That makes sense, because at the beginning of the Prezi we said your goals were making a claim, supporting with good evidence, and we said language skills of complex sentences.
Yes.
And sentence variety. So that's what all these comments are.
Right.
There's probably more errors in here than that.
Yes.
But that's what you were looking for, they knew that's what you were looking for, and that's what you're giving feedback
Yes.
on. That thing about the Edmodo is neat because, one, you're going paperless,
Mm-hmm.
and you're at Irradiant Mountain, which is a green school,
Right, we're supposed
so
to be
you're
paperless.
doing that well.
Yes.
And also, if you can get to it quickly,
Mm-hmm.
the feedback can be more immediate.
Exactly.
We know timeliness is important for feedback.
Yes.
So while you may not get to it that night, if you can get to it quickly, they can get to it
Mm-hmm.
quickly. So that's important.
Yes.
How else do you use Edmodo to engage students?
It's also a good way for students to ask questions of me outside of the classroom. A lot of times students want to ask a question late at night or around 8 p.m. when they're doing their homework, and so they're able to go on Edmodo and post on the class wall. Each class has their own kind of group, and they're able to ask those questions. And sometimes students may even get to the questions before I do, so they're able to help each other, and explain assignments and things like that through Edmodo.
And that gives them a chance to sort of demonstrate some learning, demonstrate, asking a good question
Right.
shows that they're engaged in the classroom, and that's sort of a writing activity in itself,
Right.
asking questions, responding to questions through these digital tools.
Yes.
That's very exciting.
Yes, it is. I love it. It's very efficient.
So it sounds like you have a lot of sort of updated strategies going on and a lot of excellent instruction. So thank you. And we're going to just take a minute at the end to talk about your thoughts of this whole Common Core year.
Okay.